Hello, everyone. I'm Sign1News anchor Martha Anger. Here's a quick look at the top trending stories making headlines today. If you post an interesting comment during this update, we may add it at the bottom of the screen. Investigators say the 15-year-old suspect accused of shooting and killing 4 students at a Michigan high school is being charged as an adult, which is why we can now show you his picture. His name is Ethan Crumbley, and authorities say they have a mountain of digital evidence to charge him with first-degree murder and terrorism, including recorded video the night before where Crumbley talked about shooting and killing students. Authorities also reveal Crumbley's parents were called to the school the morning of the shooting to address behavior issues their son was having in class. But police were not called. Ethan came back to the school after the meeting. And he brought with him a gun allegedly purchased by his father just days before the incident. And that's why prosecutors say Crumbley's parents could be facing charges too. As expected, the U.S. has now reported its first case of the Omicron coronavirus variant, with the positive test coming from a person traveling in South Africa and now quarantining in California. And just today, health officials confirmed a second case of the Omicron variant after a Michigan man flew to New York and tested positive. Scientists are still working to determine whether Omicron can evade vaccines and whether those infected have more serious symptoms than from other COVID variants. But in the meantime, President Biden is urging Americans to remain calm. And the federal government is working with drug makers in case vaccine recommendations need to be updated. The collective bargaining agreement between Major League Baseball and the Players Association expired at 11:59 p.m. Wednesday night. And since both sides failed to negotiate a new contract, Major League Baseball locked out players at 12:01 a.m. Thursday morning. The lockout means trades and deals have to stop until a new agreement is in place. It is still the off-season, so the lockout impact is minimal. But if the lockout drags out, things could become complicated when pitchers and catchers are scheduled to report for spring training in February. Voting rights advocate and former member of the Georgia House of Representatives, Stacey Abrams, officially announced she is running for governor of the Peach State again. This means there's a chance she could face off with incumbent Republican Governor Brian Kemp. Again, making it once again one of the most closely watched races in the country and Georgia. In 2018, Kemp beat Abrams by less than 1.5 points. According to a new book by former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, former President Trump tested positive for coronavirus 3 days before his first 2020 presidential debate against Joe Biden. If you recall, during the debate, Trump made fun of Biden for wearing a mask. Indicating Trump was not just trash talking, but also behaving recklessly, because, according to Meadows' book, Trump received the positive test on September 26, 2020, the same day he hosted a White House ceremony and Rose Garden event. Medical experts later called the Rose Garden event a super spreader, with at least 12 people there testing positive for coronavirus. Scientists say the world's first living robots can reproduce. They are called Xenobots. They are less than 1 millimeter wide, formed from the stem cells of the African clawed frog. And in 2020, scientists noticed they moved, worked together in groups, self-healed, and now they can reproduce. The Xenobot collects and compresses tiny, loose stem cells together, and after a few days, they mature into offspring. Scientists say this is still considered very early technology, but it could eventually be used for collecting dangerous microplastics in the oceans and for regenerative medicine. Today, the world is celebrating the mixed breed dogs of the world. It's National Mutt Day. The special day is celebrated twice a year, July 31st and December 2nd, to help raise awareness of the plight of mixed breed dogs in shelters. There are millions of smart and healthy mutts in shelters, just waiting for someone to give them a forever home. So consider opening your heart and home to one this holiday season. In fact, we have a sweet new mutt in the Sign1News family. Bandit, a boxer beagle mix, was just adopted by the editor of today's show. And of course, you guys already know my sweet mutt, Beans. This is a before and after picture. On the left is a picture of when I first met Beans as a puppy at an animal shelter while shooting a Sign1News feature story in Arizona. And the picture on the right is what beans looks like now. I want to share a quick story about beans and why he's so important to me. Now, some of you already know that I had a 16-and-a-half-year-old dog named Guinevere. It was a German Shepherd mix, and she passed away in July of 2018. I had that dog for 16-and-a-half years, and I was just heartbroken. And I wasn't ready to adopt a new dog. And then 6 months later, I flew to Arizona for a work-related project for Sign1News, and I met Beans. And I felt this energy. It was like Guinevere's spirit tapping me on the back, telling me, you need to adopt this dog. And I was like, how? Why? But I still had that strong feeling that this was a dog I needed to adopt. It didn't matter that I wasn't ready. I couldn't afford it. I went ahead and adopted the dog. I was going to find a way. And so I adopted Beans. And it completely changed my life. It actually helped me heal from the heartbreak of losing Guinevere. Beans taught me and still teaches me so much. And this is the first deafblind dog that I've ever had. And I've learned so much. I chose him and he chose me. And the rest is, as they say, history. Beans and I are like thick as thieves. And let me tell you something. Beans is a true mama's boy. I could tell you a lot of stories, but I'll keep it short. I just want to kind of give you the before and after. And he's 3 years old now. Can you believe that? Wow. I'm a proud mama. Sign1News will be broadcasting live updates Monday through Friday. Then this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, join us for a live panel of diverse guests to discuss the hot topics of the week. A big thank you to our Sign1News app supporters. You help make this broadcast happen. You can download the Sign1News app by heading to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone, and you can also watch on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku.